Yo, what is up? Welcome to a brand new video. And we are back with reacting to scary, spooky TikTok compilations. So let's see what this compilation has in store for us today.
This is why you should always change your locks. In 2017, a college girl woke up from a nightmare drenched in sweat and
I need to quickly fix my okay, this there.
decided to rinse off before going back to sleep. She propped her phone on a shelf, turned on some music, and then hopped in the shower. A few minutes later, she reaches for her phone to change the song, but stops suddenly. Reflected on her phone's screen was a person standing in the middle of her bathroom facing the shower. She somehow kept her composure, turned the water to scalding hot, and then ripped open the curtain and sprayed the intruder in the face. As they howled in pain, she ran past them to her kitchen to get her butcher's
What in the hell?
knife. In a
Pause.
later, she reaches for her phone to change the song, but stops suddenly. Reflected on her phone's screen was a person standing in the middle of her bathroom facing the shower. She somehow kept her composure, turned the water to scalding hot, and then ripped open the curtain and sprayed the intruder in the face. As they howled in pain, she ran past them to her kitchen to get her butcher's knife. In a panic, she can't find her knife, so she just runs out of the apartment and calls the police. The police go in and come out with a crazy-looking woman in handcuffs. One of the officers comes over to the girl and says she used to live here and she had copies of your keys. Then he pauses and looks down and brings up a clear evidence bag that contained her butcher's knife, and he says, "Looks like she wanted her apartment back."
There's something terrifying going on
Damn.
at Chuck E. Cheese right now, and I'm gonna explain it to you. So we all know about the game Five Nights at Freddy's, right? It's a game based around a restaurant that's pretty much like a Chuck E. Cheese where the animatronics come to life and wreak havoc on all the guests there. But what if I told you this was possibly happening in real life right now?
Pause. Say what? This boy is saying that Chuck E. Cheese is goddamn Five Nights at Freddy's, but wouldn't that be a thing on the news already? Like, say what?
Just 2 days ago, 5 children have gone missing inside of a Chuck E. Cheese, and the parents reported a weird smell from the inside of the building. And then just like Five Nights at Freddy's, someone that worked the late night shift actually got killed after hours. Now these are all
Pause. When the hell was this made? Oh, this is old as frick. Oh, screw that. This is old as hell. Fake.
pretty weird, but here's the kicker right here. Check out this headline. Night shift workers from Chuck E. Cheese claim strange movement from animatronics post hours. So I don't know. What do you think about this? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? And I mean, with 2020 and everything going on, like, I wouldn't be shocked if it was real.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 1. When creating the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney,
Pause. So before we continue, if you should probably get a blanket and, cover up, just in case you get, goosebumps, and, yeah. Let's continue. Just saying, it might get more spookier.
Disneyland. They couldn't create skeletons that looked realistic enough, so they used real human skeletons.
Oh, hell no! Thank God I've never been on that ride.
Since then, they've removed all but one. Ducks sometimes become cannibals due to boredom, meaning they kill and eat each other. This behavior begins as early as 4 weeks old. Crocodiles are capable of galloping, similar to a horse. Luckily, alligators cannot. And while we're at it, tarantulas can swim.
No, okay, what?
It's extremely common after you die that there will be extreme gas buildup and you will burp after death. And sometimes dead bodies can even sit up on their own. Also, if a pregnant woman dies, the gas buildup in her body can actually forcefully push a baby out. In other words, a post-mortem baby bazooka. Hearing is the last bodily function to go after one dies.
Wait, what? Wait, did I hear that correct?
Post-mortem baby bazooka. Hearing
Post-mortem baby bazooka.
is the last bodily function to go after one dies. So it's very possible that the last thing you ever hear is the paramedic calling off your CPR.
This is why you should never stay in sketchy motels. In 2005, a young woman on a solo...
So I'm guessing this dude makes a lot of story type things, like telling like stories that have happened, I'm guessing.
road trip across the country decided to stop for the night. The first place she sees is the Mountaintop Motel. It looked pretty cheap, but she was tired, so she said good enough. The check-in guy eyed her up and down very uncomfortably and then asked her if she was traveling alone. She ignores the question, pays for her room, and then walks away with the key. When she gets inside her room and sees there are literally cockroaches in her bed, she says nope and decides to sleep in her car in the parking lot. Around 3 a.m., she wakes up to see the check-in guy using his own keys to get into the motel room she was supposed to be in. A few minutes later, he storms out and slams the door and starts walking towards her car. Terrified, she hides under her blanket as the man tries to open her car doors but can't and walks away. She speeds off and calls her friend and asks her to look up the address of Mountaintop Motel so she can give it to police. Her friend's quiet for a second and then just says, "The Mountaintop Motel closed a week ago. If someone offers you this, walk away."
Pause.
Mountaintop Motel so she can give it to police. Her friend's quiet for a second and then just says, "The Mountaintop Motel closed a week ago. If someone offers you this, walk away." In 2016, a man was staying at his friend's cabin in the woods when he decided to go for an evening stroll. A little ways down the trail, he hears someone call out from behind his neighbor's house. He looks up and he sees this skinny guy pop out from behind the building who starts waving frantically at him to come over. Worried this guy could be in trouble, the man takes off running to assist, but when he gets close enough, the neighbor just offers him a fistful of Slim Jims and starts talking about how much he hates his wife. Sensing there was something wrong with this guy, he says no thank you to the Slim Jims and walks away. The next day, the man calls his friend who owned the cabin to ask him what the deal was with his weirdo neighbor. There was silence on the phone, and then his friend just says, "I don't have any neighbors." The police are called, and it turns out his neighbor was really some lunatic who had recently killed his wife and had been hiding out in the abandoned cabin next door. This is why you always say...
Wait, how many of the... So, for most of this video, it's gonna be this dude. Great.
yes to tandoori chicken. In 2012, a high school tutor and her student stayed up so late one night studying that by the time they were done, the buses had stopped running. Without another way home, the student asked if he could stay the night at her place. Reluctantly, she agreed. When they got back to the apartment, she fell asleep on her bed and he fell asleep on a blanket next to her bed on the ground. A few hours later, she wakes up to the boy standing awkwardly in the middle of the room with a very strange look on his face. She asks him, "What's wrong?" He looks at her and says, "I'm really hungry. Let's go get some tandoori chicken." Confused, she says, "It's 2 a.m. Just get a snack in the cupboard." And he grabs her by the arm and he says, "No, we are getting tandoori chicken right now." And he yanks her from the bed. Feeling totally caught off guard by this whole situation, she goes into the hall with the boy, and as soon as the door shuts behind them, she can tell that he is terrified. He looks at her and just says, "I'm not actually hungry. When I woke up, there was someone under your bed." This is why you should always try.
Yo.
Caught off guard by this whole situation, she goes into the hall with the boy, and as soon as the door shuts behind them, she can tell that he is terrified. He looks at her and just says, "I'm not actually hungry. When I woke up, there was someone under your bed." This is why you should always trust your gut. In the early 1970s, a college student decided to hitchhike his way home after class. A car pulls up, a man offers him a ride, and he climbs in. As soon as the car started moving, the student felt totally uneasy, like something was wrong but he couldn't quite place it. Without saying anything, he waited till the next time they slowed down and he flung the door open and ran away. 2 years later, he's flicking through TV channels when he comes across this special interview with a death row inmate. And it's just the audio recording, so he hears the interviewer ask the inmate, "Why did you remove all the door handles inside of your car?" The man just goes, "Well, the first time I tried to kill someone, I picked up a college hitchhiker who got smart at some point and jumped out of my car. So, lesson learned, remove all the door handles." When they showed his picture, the student knew immediately that he was supposed to be the first victim of
Yo. That's crazy.
John Wayne Gacy, aka the Killer Clown, who had killed over 30 men and boys in his clown room and stuffed them into his basement. This is why you should always trust your gut. In the 1970s, a young couple decided to go for a late night hike in the woods. A couple minutes into their walk, and the man remembers thinking something's not right. He tells his girlfriend, but they just decide to ignore it and keep going, until he steps on something that felt really soft, like it was alive. Before he has a chance to see what he stepped on, they hear all this rustling in the bushes next to them and they bolt. Years later, that couple turns on the TV and a death row inmate who's about to be executed is being interviewed. And they ask him, was there ever a time that you were almost caught red-handed? He responded, yes, one time. I was in the woods and a couple walked through and the man actually stepped on the body of a girl I had just killed. I was hiding in the bushes just a few feet away. They didn't see me. That couple had run into one of the worst serial killers of all time, Ted Bundy.
So supposedly, this is what the fallen angel Lucifer looks like. And this is what the moon looked like on March 31st, 2020. I don't know about any of you guys, but this is scary, especially with everything going on in the world right now. Pretty cool!
Let this be a reminder.
Wait, what? This dude says, listen. Alright?
I don't know about any of you guys, but this is scary.
He says this is scary, right? Because of this. And then listen what he says next.
Especially with everything going on in the world right now. Pretty cool!
This dude just said that this is scary. And he just said, pretty cool. Is he okay?
Let this be a reminder that there really are monsters out there. In 2007, a woman living right near a prison in California got home late one night and went right to bed. Around midnight, she woke up to footsteps on her first floor, assumed it was her roommate, so she goes downstairs to say hi. She yells out to her roommate, who doesn't say anything, and then in walks this giant man who she doesn't recognize. She runs upstairs, jumps in her closet into the crawl space, and hides. As she's helplessly tucked away in this little crawl space, trying not to make any sound, all she hears is this giant man sprinting around her house, running into walls, flipping furniture, and screaming in frustration because he can't find her. Finally, after several hours, she slowly opens the crawl space back up, crawls out, and gets her phone off the nightstand and calls police. As she's telling the police her story, she describes the person who had broken in, and they stop her and say, "Ma'am, go back in the crawl space and stay there. We'll be there as soon as we can." It turned out a 6'11" convicted murderer had escaped the prison and was still on the loose.
Spooky. Right.
Murderer had escaped the prison and was still on the loose.
That's cool animating, but still. Whoa, what are you doing? Don't follow it.
If you scare easily, I wouldn't watch this video. In 2013, a mine explorer found this entrance to an abandoned mine and decided to go have a look around. He decides to film his experience and upload it to his YouTube channel, where he had uploaded hundreds of other videos of him exploring mines, but he never once references the paranormal or ghosts or anything like that, until this video. As soon as he steps foot inside, he tells the camera that he has a really uneasy feeling about being there and wonders if he should even keep going, but he does. Everything seems pretty normal until he gets to a section in the mine where there's a bunch of chains hanging down from the ceiling. He hears something in the back of the tunnel, so he pulls his flashlight out and he shines it towards the back, and he sees a chain swinging, and it shouldn't be, because there's no draft and he's all alone, and you can tell he's scared by the way he starts talking. Although he's totally freaked out, he wants to know what's causing the chain to swing, so he goes farther and farther into the mine until he hears something. People whispering in every direction. He gets totally spooked and runs out. If you don't want to sleep tonight, watch the whole video. This is why you should never open your door for strangers. In 2013, a woman let her dog out to use the bathroom one more time before bed. After only a few minutes, she starts hearing scratching on her door, which is typically the sound her dog makes when he's ready to come in. But it just seemed way too soon for him to be done being outside. So she decides to look through the peephole to make sure it really is her dog. But what she sees is terrifying. A deranged-looking man is right outside her door, staring intently at her door handle, waiting for it to turn open. As she's looking in horror, unable to do anything, he starts scratching at the door as hard as he can, never leaving his gaze from the door handle. She manages to stifle a scream, she backs away and realizes her dog is still outside. So she goes to the side window, but there's no sign of her dog, and so she goes back to the door to see if maybe the man's moved. He hasn't moved, his mouth is open, and he's staring directly at the peephole. Then he turns around and walks away. With the man gone, she discovers her dog unharmed, his leash had just been cut. But that means he had a knife.
Terrifying facts about the ocean. Let's get into it. So we've explored... Yeah.
So, wait, what?
With the man gone, she discovers her dog unharmed, his leash had just been cut. But that means he had a knife.
Terrifying facts about
Okay, so terrifying facts about the ocean.
the ocean. Let's get into it. So we've explored. Yeah.
What? Do. Hmm. This is TikTok's scary stories. No, that's creepy stories. I am so sorry, guys. I am
Weird but true
last,
facts.
sorry. This is gonna be the last video that I'm gonna react to in this video. Yeah. So let's react to
You
it.
can only breathe out of one nostril at a time. Your eyes blink about 20 times a minute. The world's
No shot. I think that's
youngest
true.
parents are only 8 and 9 years old.
These are amazing, ancient, sometimes scary, unexplained artifacts. Here we go. A couple that was taking a walk between 1934 and 1936 discovered what is now known as the London Hammer. Soon after discovering this, they turned it into a group of archaeologists, and this is what the archaeologists found out. What they discovered is amazing, that this rock encasing the hammer is actually about 400 million years old, and that's
Damn.
way before any kind of life could have made this hammer. What's crazier is that the hammer itself is over 500 million years old according to their first measurements. The handle itself is starting to turn itself into coal, it's so old. The hammer's head, which is 96% iron, is impossible for nature to achieve without the assist of some sort of technology. Could this be some sort of alien technology throwing the hammer down? Maybe while these aliens were out doing the pyramids, they dropped their fucking hammer. There are no part 2s in these videos, so please give me a like, follow, and comment. Thank you.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. There used to be real human remains in the Disneyland's Pirates of the
Yeah, this has already been told in the other video.
Caribbean ride. There are at least 200 corpses on Mount Everest.
Oh hell no!
There is no physical evidence to say that today is Sunday. We all just have to trust that someone has kept count since the first one ever. The human brain not only named itself, but it also recognized that it named itself, and was surprised when it realized that. No one knows exactly how anesthesia works. Anytime they put you under for a routine operation, there's currently no scientific explanation for why you are unconscious. Hit the plus sign if these disturbed you.
Give me your answer, Boy, GG, this video has now given me so many goosebumps.
Down by the bay, where the watermelon raw.
Random cuts or bruises, it was
Where the watermelon raw.
not necessarily.
If you go home,
Have you ever heard your mom call you, but she never actually called? That's a demon mocking.
just don't get caught. But
Wait, what? Well, listen. Not necessarily, because I've had dreams, but as a different person. So I've had dreams as my brother, and I've seen myself in the background, and then also, I'm pretty sure the things that happen in your dream, and then happen in real life, I'm pretty sure that's called deja vu, if I am correct. So this isn't really that creepy, it's more of just a bit of facts. I don't know why it would be creepy, but okay.
Children Raised by Animals Part 1. Ramachandra. This boy was 12 years old and found by the Kawano River living an amphibious lifestyle. Villagers was convinced that he was living among the lizards and amphibians around the river. What's crazy is he walked on all four legs. And his arms started to fuse together, kind of like an amphibian. For example, like a newt paw. Or even the legs of a turtle. It's crazy how the human body evolves. He was captured and taken by a near village, but he didn't like it. He didn't adapt well. He liked raw food and staying by the river. Sadly, he passed away when a woman got scared and saw him crawling near her and decided to throw boiling water on him. Rest in peace. Give this video a like for part 2.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, part 4. The reason your dog likes squeaky toys so much is because the squeak reminds them of small animals dying. Every day, squeaky toys so much is because the squeak reminds them of small animals.
So, if you guys just, I probably just got, a whole bunch of people to, click off this video. I am so sorry about that.
Animals dying. Every day, one person takes the biggest shit in the world and they have no
What the hell? How is that creepy?
idea it was them. The entire universe outside of our galaxy could have disappeared over 20,000 years ago. This is because our view of the universe is what it looked like thousands to billions of years ago. Some tumors can contain pockets of hair and teeth and grow complex organs such as eyes, feet, and hands. There are at least 92
disgusting.
nuclear weapons in the world that are known to be missing. Brain aneurysms can happen whenever, wherever. Polar bears are thought to be some of the only animals that actively hunt humans. You can think about wanting to move your hand and it won't move, but when you want to move your hand, it moves.
The absolute worst ways people have died, part 5. A guy tried to rob a place by crawling through a sewer pipe, but he ended up getting stuck inside, and then the rats found him and started eating his face for days. He actually managed to kill some of them by biting them to death, but he didn't survive. A German soldier was told by Russian soldiers.
So, this dude creeps the frick out of me, yeah.
That they'd shoot him if he stopped playing the piano. The guy almost played for 24 hours without stopping, but then he started crying and asking for mercy. The Russians laughed and shot him point blank.
Did this show predict the coronavirus? The Last Man on Earth was made in 2015. It's about a show about the last man living on Earth. Season 1, Episode 1. Look at this. Year 2020. 1 year after the virus. They was trying to warn us. Like this video if I should do a part 2 of shows that predicted the
Nah, bro, you're joking. You're talking.
the virus.
1 year after the I hate this. I hate this world. Why do you make TV shows that predict the future? Huh? You freaking time traveler? You boy, what the hell?
They was trying to warn us. Like this video if I should do a part 2 of shows that predicted the coronavirus.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, part 23. In 2008, 3 Texas teenagers were arrested after they dug up a skeleton and used the skull as a bong. The police later found that the skull belonged to an 11-year-old boy. While uncommon, there have been many cases of people's intestines being sucked out by vacuum toilets on airplanes. So if you want to keep your rectum, be sure to stand up before you flush. Every single fig has had at least one wasp die inside of it. Nosebleeds can bleed out of your eye sockets. And it's possible to be allergic to your own blood. There's a rare phenomenon called a stone baby where a fetus dies and doesn't get absorbed by the body. And people have been known to carry these fetuses for up to 40 years, completely unaware. There's a shack in Louisiana called the Devil's Toy Box where people supposedly lose their minds after spending any amount of time there.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. When whales reach a certain age, they will eventually be too weak to swim back to the surface for air, so they will just suffocate to death and eventually sink to the bottom of the ocean. When you die, you will be aware that you are dead until the moment your brain fully ceases function. When getting laser eye surgery, you can smell the parts of your eyes being shaved down. During the French Revolution, where the guillotine was introduced, the people to be executed fought to be first, as the blade would dull after multiple uses, and wouldn't cut a head clean off at the first attempt. If you're male, after you die, your loved ones can have a doctor electrocute your prostate to force you to ejaculate for sperm. Humans have enough bite power to bite off their own finger, bone and all. The only thing stopping us is our brain's natural safety factor. A deceased human body can take between 24 to 48 hours to decompress, releasing the remaining blood, urine, and fecal matter, depending on the situation, position, and method of death. If you die on a submarine, they put your body in the fridge with all the food. If not, up a torpedo tube. It's actually common that corpses will periodically burp, fart, gasp, groan as gases escape through the mouth and anus. When you get burned by electricity, it actually leaves marks shaped like lightning on your skin. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts.
That last one was not really that creepy. It was more of a cool one. Like, you get burnt by lightning, it leaves a lightning like scar. That's kind of cool, not gonna lie.
The last one completely blew my mind.
Man, not you again, boy. If I see you one more time, oh hell no. I'ma. That's a joke, by the way. But still, boy, why you always in these videos?
There exists a plankton called dinoflagellates that if you consume it, will reverse your sense of hot and cold, and it can last for years. Scientists recently discovered some sharks living in an active volcano, but they can't get in to study them because, well, it's a volcano and it's too hot. In 1972, Vesna Vulovic fell out of a plane at 33,000 feet, no parachute, and lived. Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish are made by the same manufacturer, and in fact, the red Sour Patch Kid is literally a Swedish fish, except with sour sugar on it.
Yeah.
The only people that know how to open the United States president's car doors are the Secret Service. And
the absolute worst ways people have died, part 3. A guy jumped in a boiling geyser to save his dog. When they pulled him out, he had third-degree burns all over his body while he was still alive and conscious. Moments later, he died, watching his dog dying the same way. At the Grand Canyon, a woman jumped trying to commit suicide. She survived because she hit a ledge that wasn't quite far enough, and she had to crawl until she could find another edge to finish what she started.
Haunting facts about serial killers that you'll want to forget, part 1. After raping his blindfolded victims, the Golden State Killer would be super quiet and pretend like he was gone, and right when the victims would try to untie themselves or go for their phone, he would scare the hell out of them. Jeffrey Dahmer attempted to make sex zombies out of his victims by drilling holes into their head while they were still alive and pouring acid into the holes. American serial killer Albert Fish once cooked and ate a little girl and sent a letter to her parents describing how she tasted. Colombian serial killer Pedro Alonso Lopez raped and murdered over 300 girls. He was in prison for 18 years when he was moved to a psychiatric hospital where they declared him to be sane and he was set free, even though he stated that he planned on killing again. He was released in 1998 and no one knows where he is or what he's doing.
Plastic surgery is going wrong, part 5. Jocelyn Wildenstein. As you can see, she's beautiful. Passionate about hunting, she met her husband, the ex-Wildenstein. They met at a gun range, and when they got together, he really had a thing for giant cats. So he wanted her to get surgery to look more like a cat. She got surgery and it got weirder.
What in the hell?
Weirder, until this was the final result. Sadly enough, they're divorced now, and she still looks like that to this day. I know people do crazy things for love, but don't be just crazy, women.
Random facts about the Marvel Universe. Part 5. The one above.
Alright, so, let me just quickly read this title. Scary and creepy TikToks that won't make you sleep. Now, read this title, okay?
Crazy women.
Random facts about the
Marvel Universe.
Marvel Universe. Part 5. The one above all is the god of the Marvel Universe. He's only been seen 3 times throughout the entirety of Marvel Comics. He's been seen with Thanos and Adam Warlock. He's been seen with Spider-Man, and he came in the form of Jack Kirby when he met the Fantastic Four. He has a dark counterpart called the One Below All. Technically speaking, he's the true devil of the Marvel Universe. He's also partly responsible for the creation of the Hulk. In an alternate universe, Cosmic Ghost Rider raised baby Thanos. Instead of killing him like most would suggest, Cosmic Ghost Rider thought he could turn him into a great person. But that was shortly lived because heroes from the future had come to stop Cosmic Ghost Rider. The reason why they tried to stop him is because he turned out so much worse. Realizing his mistake, he completely obliterates Thanos. He kills the shit out of him. It wasn't even a fight. Look at that. Like and follow for more.
God.
Knowledge you wish you didn't know. Gandhi was racist and sexist. He kept a bunch of underage girls with him all the time. He would bathe with them, get full body massages from them, and sleep naked with them in order to test himself. He also thought women were responsible for their own sexual assaults and was totally cool with fathers killing their own daughters after they had been sexually assaulted for family honor.
Blood-curdling facts that you
What in the hell?
wish you never knew, part 18. A man from Queens once spent 5 months in jail completely unaware that his bail was just $2. Since spiders molt, when you see what you might think is a dead spider, it could just be that the spider left behind its exoskeleton and is now bigger than before. Dr. Seuss cheated on his wife while she had cancer, and then she proceeded to commit suicide. Almost every—
I'm sorry, but man, Dr. Seuss, that dude was one of my favorite bookmakers. And this dude, you're telling me that he cheated on his cancer wife?
Everyone on Earth is walking around with a bunch of poop inside of them. Scientists accidentally killed the world's oldest living animal, which was a clam that lived to be 507 years old. Statistically speaking, at least one person who comments on this video will not be alive tomorrow. The real reason you shouldn't eat raw cookie dough isn't because of getting sick from eating raw eggs. It's because you shouldn't eat raw flour, which contains fecal matter from all the birds flying over the field and pooping on the wheat.
Right.
Creepy facts, part 64. The first person to have ever received a face transplant was 9-year-old Sandeep Kaur in 1994. Sandeep required this surgery after her hair was caught in a thresher, ripping off her entire face. Her parents actually arrived at the hospital carrying her severed face in a plastic bag. And if you're brave enough, there are pictures.
This is the story of the most mysterious man to ever live. In 1954, a businessman arrived in the Tokyo airport for a meeting. When asked to show his passport, he showed them this one. Initially, it looked legit. It had stamps and pretty much everything that all passports have. But when taking a closer look at, it said that the passport was issued in a country named Torrid. But there was no such country. Officials started becoming suspicious of this man and called Tokyo officers to investigate. The officers asked the man to point to the country named Torrid. He then proceeded to point to a tiny country between Spain and France. But the officers quickly realized that this was not Torrid. In fact, he pointed to the country called Andorra. After the officers told him that he had in fact pointed to Andorra, he got very upset and said that Torrid had existed for over 1,000 years. So quickly, just like anyone else would, they called up the hotel where the man claimed to stay. But they claimed that there was no man under that name registered there. So thinking this man was a fraud, they detained the man in a hotel. He was kept in a room that was very, very high up with no balcony at all. But then something very mysterious occurred. Follow for part 2.
Okay, you won't believe
what? Nah, you don't fall for part 2. You tell them why. Like, I want to know. After this video, I'm looking it up.
I just found something extremely dark. If you look at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice website, you'll see death row information. A list of people the government has killed, and you get to see who they are, what their crime was, their last statement, their name, jail number, and even the county they were killed in. Ooh, look, they have career opportunities. Funny thing is, the data is updated in real time, and the last person that was put down was on February 6th, 2020. Have you seen this? This is located in the airport in Amsterdam, where there is a man who is stuck in a clock and he paints the minutes and hour hands of the clock constantly. He paints the time carefully and then makes sure it's perfect, just so you can read it. Then when the minute is up, he changes and erases the clock hands and paints the new time on there. Wait until this man finds out that most people don't use clocks anymore and they use their phone. Would you go visit the clock man?
No. What the hell? I guess. Yep, knew it. Do not stand undressed in front of a mirror because a jinn can. A jinn will also try to come close to you and can end up hurting someone who tries to approach / mingle with you. Okay.
Creepy facts, part 67. If you get bitten by another human, you absolutely have to go to the hospital as soon as possible, preferably right away. This is because the amount of bacteria that is in a person's mouth could kill you if it enters your bloodstream.
This is why you should never mess with the autistic kid at school. In 2012, a kid named Jeremy was diagnosed with mid-tier autism. To make matters worse, he was also a Call of Duty addict. At school, he would act out cutscenes from various Call of Duties. Because of this, people saw him as the weird kid and he got bullied. Things got really bad until he couldn't handle it anymore. One day, he arrived at school with a gun and shot all the people who were bullying him. What's really creepy is that when he was sentenced in court, he asked how much kills he got.
Good God.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 19.
Man, not,
Facebook was
Man, you're almost as worse as that other dude. Why?
forced to shut down 2 artificial intelligence robots named Alice and Bob because they started communicating with one another in their own language. If you ever win the lottery, you're 120 times more likely to be killed by an immediate family member. A sloth has nipples in its armpits. In the 17th century, there was a man named Tare who could eat his entire body weight in just one sitting. And despite being pretty skinny, he would swallow live animals, eat human corpses, and was even accused of eating the body of a 3-year-old toddler.
Good God.
An 11-year-old boy named Konarak escaped Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment but was later returned to Dahmer by police, and he killed the boy just 30 minutes after. It's commonly believed in religion that angels look like this, but according to the Bible, they actually look like this.
Pandemics happened every 100 years. 1720, the Great Plague. Cholera outbreak, 1820. Spanish flu, 1920. Wouldn't the... Wait, no. This would be 100 years. Okay. 2020. Yeah.
These are things that you do not want to know. Part 1. On average, a solar storm happens every 150 years, and the last time a solar storm happened was 155 years ago. So that means we are overdue. After you die, your brain will still be active for about 7 minutes, so you will know when you die. Spiders usually travel in groups, so if you see a spider in your room, there's probably a few more. And for the last one, if you're not following me, this will be in your closet tonight.
That's messed up.
Tonight.
You know that moment when you are falling asleep and suddenly you flinch because you are falling? Yeah. This is called a hypenic jerk. According to the body, does this little jerk to alert you, body, that you are dying, or at least thinks you're dying. Yeah, I already knew this. It wakes you up. Boy, you scared the living shit out of me because of that freaking music. Turn that shit down. Wait, pause, what? What humans would look like if we survived That's not true because most people survive car crashes and they don't look like that.
Weird human body facts that I can guarantee you didn't know. There are small traces of gold in your toenails. We mostly breathe out of one nostril at a time, and the dominant nostril switches every hour or so. Men, you can't flex your dicks without squeezing your butthole. Follow my Twitter, you motherfuckers. I'm funny.
Here's some fun facts about Halloween 2020.
Okay.
Halloween this year will fall on a full moon. There will also be an extra...
By the way, this is all last year, correct? I mean, 2 years ago. So, yeah, this could be true, but I'm gonna be for I don't know. I didn't pay attention to Halloween 2 years ago.
Hour on Halloween at 2 a.m. because of daylight savings. And it's on a Saturday.
Okay. This is an abandoned Chuck E. Cheese. It's been abandoned for 14 years now. Mate. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. You know, if you did, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. And, yeah, sorry about the long video and sorry about the disturbing things. I'll see you all in the next video on Monday. Peace out. Oh, and make sure to go join my Discord down below if you want to be a part of the talent show event. And yeah, peace everybody. Have a great day. Wait, are you still here? Boy, I said video's over. Anyways. Wait, don't tell me they're still here. Okay, fine. Since you're still here, it's actually a good thing. I will be soon, and I mean soon. So, well, not really soon. I'd say like 2 months or so. Starting the crap. What is it gonna be called? The I don't know what I'm gonna call it yet, but it's basically gonna be you guys telling me what to do on like, so basically it's gonna be a survival series, but you guys tell me what to do, and pretty much I do as you say. So pretty much right when I log onto the server, I mean not server, log onto the world, I add everybody, and then you all tell me what I should do in the Minecraft world at that moment. So yeah, and really that's all at the moment. So if you all like this video, leave a like down below, and yada yada yada. Have a great day. Peace.